Before smartphones, before instant messaging, before undo buttons, we survived school with nothing but folded paper, burning hot projectors, and pizza that may or may not have been cardboard. This is how we made it out alive. Before DMs, we have this dangerous art form. Look at this. This isn't just paper. This is a tactical communication device that could end friendships, start relationships, or get you detention in 0.3 seconds. The fold was everything. You couldn't just fold it in half like some amateur. No, you did the triangle pull-apart, the football, the origami swan if you were really trying to impress someone. Each fold was a commitment. Each crease meant this message matters. And then came the pass. You'd wait for the exact moment Mrs. Henderson turned to write on the board. Heart pounding, palms sweating. You'd slide it across 2 desks, pray that Jessica doesn't drop it, and hope that Tommy intercepts it before it hits the floor. Because if that note hit the floor, game over. The teacher picks it up, reads it out loud, and suddenly everyone knows you think Brandon from 3rd period is cute, or that you cheated on the math test. There was no unsend button, no delete for everyone. Once that note left your hand, it was in the universe, forever. Kids today, they can delete a text, edit a message, unsend a snap. We lived with permanent consequences folded into notebook paper. The hottest place in the classroom wasn't the radiator. It was standing directly under this nuclear reactor they called an overhead projector. You'd be picked to write on the transparency sheet, and instantly you're hit with 3 problems. 1. The heat from that bulb is melting your face off. 2. Those vis-a-vis markers smell like straight chemicals and regret. And 3. Everyone in class is now watching your handwriting in 10-foot-tall HD on the wall behind you. The pressure was unreal. You'd write one number wrong, and you'd have to use the side of your hand to smudge it off, which never worked. So now there's just a blue ghost of the number 4 haunting your equation, while the whole class watches you panic. And the teacher? Their hands looked like they'd been dipped in a rainbow. Permanent vis-a-vis stains, red on the thumb, blue on the palm, green across the knuckles. It was the mark of the profession. But the worst part? That fan, that relentless, humming jet engine fan that made it impossible to hear anything. The teacher would be explaining polynomial functions, while that projector is out here sounding like a 747 preparing for takeoff. Ever been called up to write on one of these? Drop your trauma story in the comments. Teachers today have smartboards, touch screens, wireless mirroring. We had a lamp, a piece of plastic, and 3rd-degree burns. Remember, a photo without a story is just a snapshot. If you love uncovering the history behind the lens, hit subscribe and let's frame the next one together. Why we paid $100 for a Game Boy that did math. This right here is the TI-83 Plus, the most expensive gaming console your parents ever bought you, and they didn't even know it. Schools told us we needed it for calculus, for SATs, for our future. What they didn't tell us? This thing could run games. And we're not talking basic games, we're talking Block Dude and the legendary Snake. Every student had one. Every single person was playing games in the back of class. The teacher thought you were solving for X. You were jumping pixelated stick figures over chasms. And the best part? You could link them. That cable that connected 2 calculators? That wasn't for sharing notes. That was for trading game files. You'd link up with your buddy during study hall and be like, "Yo, you got that new version of Mario?" Nobody actually knew how to use this thing for math. The manual was 600 pages. We never read it. We just hit buttons until something looked right. Graph a parabola? Sure, but also, can it run Doom? Today's students? They've got Desmos, free, online, on their phones. We paid $100 for a brick that played Snake and occasionally graphed a sine wave, and we loved it. The only room in school where you felt freedom. The moment you walked into the computer lab, you smelled it. That static electricity, that old plastic, that faint burning smell from a computer that's been on since 1997. It was the smell of possibility. Because in here, you weren't just a student. You were a pioneer, an explorer, a rebel. The teacher would say, "We're working on typing skills today," and you'd nod respectfully. Then the moment they turned around, You were on Miniclip, Newgrounds, Stick RPG. But you had to be strategic. You'd keep one tab open with your typing program, one finger hovering over Alt plus Tab, because Mrs. Rodriguez had ninja instincts. She could sense fun from across the room. And there was always that battle for the good computer. You know the one. The machine in the back corner that actually ran fast. The one without the sticky keyboard. The one where the mouse didn't glitch every 4 seconds. If you got that set up, you won the day. Meanwhile, some poor kid is stuck with a computer that takes 6 minutes to load Internet Explorer and makes a sound like a dying walrus every time you click. Students today have Chromebooks at their desks with restrictions and monitoring software. We had 30 desktops in a room that smelled like a fire hazard, and we had to fight for them. That's character building. If you didn't do this, you were failing at life. This was your only form of self-expression. The paper bag textbook cover, the pinnacle of DIY culture. First day of school, you'd get your books. The teacher would say, "These books are school property. You must cover them." And your mom would hand you a brown paper grocery bag and say, "Figure it out." So you did. You'd cut it, fold it, tape it. And if you did it wrong, the whole thing would slide off by third period, and you'd have to start over. But once it was on, that cover was your canvas, your billboard, your statement to the world. You'd write your name in bubble letters, draw the logos of bands you liked, Blink-182, Green Day, Avril Lavigne. You'd doodle on it during class, inside jokes, random quotes, phone numbers in the margins. By the end of the semester, that cover was a relic, a scrapbook, a time capsule of who you were in 9th grade. It was wrinkled, torn, covered in pen marks and whiteout. And if you lost that book, you paid for it. There was no digital backup, no just download it again. You lost it, you're paying $75 for a history textbook from 1987. What did you draw on your textbook covers? Let me know in the comments. Kids today rent digital textbooks. We turned grocery bags into art, and honestly, we had more personality because of it. The most controversial lunch in history. Let's talk about the elephant in the cafeteria. The square pizza. The rectangle of mystery. The cardboard with cheese. Was it good? Absolutely not. Was it pizza? Debatable. Did we eat it every single Pizza Friday like it was a Michelin star meal? You better believe it. This thing had no business being called pizza. The crust was dense, chewy, possibly made of the same material as the cafeteria trays. The cheese was neon orange and separated from the crust if you picked it up too fast. And the sauce? Ketchup adjacent at best. But none of that mattered, because Pizza Friday was sacred. It was the one day you didn't pack a lunch, the one day you had something to look forward to. You'd stand in that lunch line like you were waiting for concert tickets. And the grease, oh, the grease. You could see it pooling in the little squares. It would soak through the napkin, through the tray. You'd finish eating, and your fingers looked like you'd just changed the oil in a car. That pizza united us. Rich kid, poor kid, didn't matter. Everyone ate the square pizza. Everyone argued whether it was good. Everyone had a memory of it. Schools today have Panera catering, salad bars, gluten-free options. We had squares of cheese on bread, and we survived. We thrived. And honestly, I'd eat it again right now. But those aren't the only photos with a hidden past. If you want to see more frames where the truth was stranger than fiction, click this video right here. I'll see you there.